X-Men Dark Phoenix versus just Dark Phoenix. They were. This movie was released. The film was titled Dark Phoenix. They were promoting it in the United Kingdom as X-Men Dark Phoenix. When it came out on DVD, it says X-Men Dark Phoenix. So I don't know. It had a weird title issue. They first announced the film, thought it was a Jean Grey movie, but no, they showed the other X-Men characters in the trailer, so this should have been titled X-Men Dark Phoenix. But here we are. So I guess a lot of y'all want to know my thoughts on this film. A lot of people are calling it a train wreck, disaster, the worst X-Men film of all time. I disagree. I believe there are some redeeming qualities about this film. I don't think it's that bad as people say. I mean, it's not like Origins Wolverine, right? Or Last Stand, but I think based on what the director had to work with here, I believe he did a good job. It was his first directorial film, so there are some flaws that he had with it. I'm going to give a brief synopsis of the film and tell you what I like, what I didn't like, and why people probably didn't like the film. So, it's about a spaceship mission that goes wrong. We get to see a force called the Phoenix get absorbed into Jean Grey. And Jean Grey has conflict with herself. This force tells her things to do, things that she doesn't want to do. But she kind of does them anyway because it's controlling her. The X-Men, they're trying to look for Magneto. He's looking for Jean Grey because Jean Grey in this movie kills Mystique. You also have Vuk looking for her. She wants to use his force for her own good. She wants to use it to destroy the world, and she's going to use Jean Grey to do it. So this film is basically about Jean Grey as the Phoenix. But what I liked about this movie is Jean Grey's abilities. When she uses her powers, you can see the powers flow through her veins. Like Famke Janssen's portrayal of the Phoenix, you didn't really see a whole lot about her. There's also a scene where she kills Mystique, and it's very brutal. And also like about Jean Grey, she has conflict with herself. Like she's not the Phoenix. Sometimes she is, sometimes she's not. She doesn't want to be a Phoenix. Like Famke Janssen's portrayal, there's nothing really to her. She's just a Phoenix. You didn't really get her motivations or why she's doing the things that she did. But yeah. We also get to see a backstory on Jean Grey about her time as a child, learning about her abilities. And at the beginning of the movie, we get a car crash that takes the life of her mother and severely injures Jean Grey's father. It's a crazy scene at the beginning. We also see the origin of Jean Grey and how she got her powers on a space mission that goes wrong. There's some type of explosion on the space shuttle, and that allows this force to take over her. And like X-Men: The Last Stand, they never really gave us an origin of Jean Grey. They showed a backstory of Xavier and Magneto going together, though, but not really how she got her powers after the events of X2. Also like about this movie is the third act. It's probably the best act in this movie. We get to see all the X-Men using their abilities and powers. We get to see Nightcrawler do a lot of action. We get to see Magneto and Storm do some stuff. So the third act was done very well. Also, the film had a proper send-off. Jean Grey decided she didn't really want to deal with the Phoenix, so she gives up her powers. Beast becomes the new headmaster. You can see Xavier and Magneto. They get to chill outside and they're playing chess as the film ended. Now, what I didn't like was Jennifer Lawrence. She was only in the movie for like 30 minutes. I don't think she really wanted to be in this movie. Don't know why she was in it. But she said a forced line like, X-Men should be called X-Women, because the women are the only people saving the men around here. I didn't like it. It's a forced SJW term. Did not need to be in this movie. Now, she is somewhat true. We had Rogue was the main focus in X-Men 1. Jean Grey saved the day in X2. She was the main focus in X3. Moira McTaggart, she saved the day in X-Men First Class. Mystique saved the day in Days of Future Past. And Jean Grey saved the day in Apocalypse, and she was the main focus in Dark Phoenix as well. So she does have somewhat of a point, but they didn't need this comment in here. Also didn't like the arguing back and forth between Hickman and Xavier. They said that Xavier's the main villain here. He turned Jean Grey into a monster. He was controlling her. Or Xavier's the real monster here. Just wasn't needed. You also didn't really have a whole lot of character development here. Hickman, McCoy, Magneto, they all had feelings for Jean Grey. Well, they all had feelings for Mystique. But the film did not really explore their relationships. This film had like a 10-year time gap, just like Apocalypse and Days of Future Past and First Class. First Class took place in the 60s, Days of Future Past 70s, Apocalypse in the 80s. Now we're here in the 90s. They did not need to take a 10-year gap, but I get that's what they did. Also, Cyclops and Jean Grey are in a relationship, but they never exploited their relationship either. In Apocalypse, they were just getting to know each other, and now here they're boyfriend and girlfriend. It's been 10 years. I kind of get it. Also, there's no Wolverine in this movie. Not a reference of Wolverine, no cameo, no nothing. He's not in this movie at all. Which kind of, for me, it's not really an issue, but something that I noticed. To me, it kind of hurt the film a little, because Wolverine has been a staple of this franchise. I feel like some scenes in here did need a little bit of Wolverine. So, the last problem with this movie, I'm not a fan of the Dark Phoenix saga to begin with. Didn't like how they did in The Last Stand. It was better here. But they did not need to make this movie. I have done some more spin-offs. I would have began casting a new Wolverine. And my next X-Men film would probably have Mr. Sinister as the villain instead of doing the whole Dark Phoenix saga. They did not need to do it. I would have already made Jean Grey the Phoenix, because she showed that in Apocalypse. I would have had her powers all under control, and every situation resolved. I'm not really a fan of this Dark Phoenix saga. I don't read the comics, so I don't know what happened there, but not everything in the comics needs to be on the big screen. Now, why people didn't like this film? There's a Disney and Fox deal. Disney bought Fox. So a lot of people meant that the X-Men was going into the MCU. And that this would be the final X-Men film owned by Fox. Also didn't like it because it's not a Marvel movie. Most people want every superhero film to be in the MCU or just like the MCU. DC movies that came out, like Batman, Superman, Justice League, Suicide Squad, were not really done well in the critical department. And my guess is that because they're not Marvel movies. When a Marvel movie comes out, the critical reviews are perfect. When Fantastic Four and X-Men and Spider-Man come out, the critics are always mixed or negative because they just want the MCU. They want Marvel to own everything, and I think that they kind of grade these movies unfairly. Like, they root for these movies to fail. They root for Dark Phoenix to fail. They root for DC to fail, and probably Fantastic Four to fail. I'm not that type of person. I don't want everything to be owned by Marvel Studios. I want the X-Men in the MCU, yes. Same thing with Spider-Man. But let them tell their story first before rushing them in. Also, why people probably didn't like this movie because they forgot about it. We are on a hangover from Endgame and ready for Spider-Man to come out in theaters, so people forgot about it. Plus, the summer box office was crowded. Secret Life of Pets 2, Toy Story 4, and Lion King. People had a lot of interest in those films. And also, what really hurt the film here is that it was not supposed to be a finale, it was supposed to be the beginning of a new trilogy. Back in 2017, this movie was announced. They said there's going to be a new trilogy of films. And I was like, okay, let's see how they do this one. So they came to Disney and Fox deal, and this movie was delayed a couple times. And when you delay a movie, or any type of form of media, people kind of forget about it. They lose interest. They delayed it over a year. New Mutants got delayed over 2 years. We'll see how that one does. But this movie is not supposed to be a finale. It's supposed to be the beginning of a new trilogy. But based on what the director had to deal with here, is that I think he delivered. He had to deal with a lot of stuff. Reshoots, delays, a deal between Disney and Fox, a crowded box office. This movie was originally supposed to be released in November of 2018. Instead, it got released in the summer of 2019. Plus, it's Simon Kinberg. He's directed this movie. It was his first directorial film. But I'm going to give Dark Phoenix... I'll give it an 8 out of 10, just like the others. Based on what he had to work with, I believe he did an alright job. If the Disney and Fox did not happen, maybe this movie would have done better. But, in my opinion, they should not have made Dark Phoenix. Not really a fan of this whole Dark Phoenix saga thing. However, they did it better than The Last Stand. Is this movie better than X-Men Apocalypse? It's close, but I would say Apocalypse kind of edges it out. The only thing that makes Dark Phoenix kind of go back and forth with Apocalypse is the third act. I really love that third act. The first act, okay. Second act, not really. The third act was like really cool. But there you go. X-Men Dark Phoenix.